40 laps complete in Richmond, and the Crown Royal presents the Dan Lowry 400. Lowry was a contest winner and got to have the race named for him. But right now, the man whose name may be getting ready already to be engraved on the winner's trophy is Denny Hamlin. He's about to come up and lap Jeff Gordon. That's one of the hazards of starting in the back. We have two different sound bites edited together of Gordon talking about the handling of his car.
When I go to the throttle tight and it snaps loose, you can get it to turn getting in. It's when I go to the throttle.
And what I hear in a driver's voice, he's a man that's out of breath, which tells me when you're uncomfortable in your race car and you're just kind of hanging on to it, you really do just kind of get short-winded almost because you're tense, very tense.
And the reason he's tense is look at that FedEx in his rearview mirror he's looking at. But I think, Darrell, you got to fix first things first. Get that thing to turn through the middle. There's his crew chief, Steve Letarte. And you may actually calm that looseness down off the corner if you make it turn better.
He's tense, and that guy behind him is 11th, and he's coming after him.
Jeff Gordon has not been happy with his car all weekend. Did not practice well, qualified poorly.
I talked to Steve Letarte today, and my timing was terrible. I was sitting there talking to him about his car, and he said this new generation of Goodyear tire has thrown us such a curve. While I was talking to him, they tapped him on the shoulder.
Boy, he tried to cut underneath the 70, and Jeff Gordon got into the leader.
Trying to stay desperate, trying to stay on that lead lap.
Well, yeah, but Hamlin was kind of boxed behind the 70, and he really cut Jeff off there. I think he figured Jeff's going to lap down and give me some room, but Jeff said, no, I have no part of that.
Let's take another look at this as he was trying to stay on the lead lap.
That's Johnny Sauter in the 70.
See the 70's right there. Denny's got a little bit of a hole right there, and he tries to squeeze over. That was not bad. That's
not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Of course, I did see a guy get out of his car last night and go confront another driver with a very similar situation.
But I might add, Jeff Gordon didn't do anything wrong there. Denny Hamlin was just trying to squeeze down in a hole that wasn't quite there.
He wants to put that car a lap down because he knows they might get it better before the night's over.
Caution free through 46 laps. Denny Hamlin has led every one of them. He won the pole. He won last night. Trying to complete the weekend sweep here at his home racetrack.
Now, the thing that Jeff Gordon's got to do is get around that 70 car because he's in the free pass position right now. Jeff needs to try to stay in contact with the 11 car in case the caution does come out. He get back on the lead lap.
Just to kind of finish that story, while I was talking to Steve Letarte and talking to him about the car, and he was telling me this tire has really thrown him a curve, that's when they tapped him on the shoulder and said, Steve, car won't crank. He looked at me and he said, when it rains, it pours.
But you know what, Larry, just think back to practice, Mike. When Jeff Gordon didn't run one lap, and he said, we're in trouble with this car.
11th place for Dale Earnhardt Jr. for passing Ryan Newman. Krista.
Well, this is really of no surprise to us, Mike. I know the fans are excited. He started 22nd. He is all the way up to 11th, trying to work his way into the top 10. Junior hasn't said much on the radio. In fact, he just came on the radio a few laps ago. He did speak for the entire lap, though. He gave Tony Eury Jr. a play-by-play dissection of the corner. He said, I need to roll to the center better. I'm free in, but that does not bother me.
And one of the things that I think Junior is really working hard on, Larry, and he talked to us about this, is his communication with Tony Jr. I need to give him better feedback, and I need to be a little easier on him. Because after all, they're cousins, and they talk a little bit different, but people listen to them on their radio, and they interpret it all wrong.
Yeah, he said, I want to be able to talk to him openly and be myself, whether I'm talking about my race car, maybe I'm talking about some land or property he bought. He said, I still want to be me, but maybe I need to be just a little easier. But he said, you know what? I can't wait during practice to get into the garage to talk to him one-on-one where people can't hear what we're saying.
There's Tony Jr., who is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s cousin. When you grow up with somebody that's family, you get pretty plain spoken, and you're right, not a lot of the people with scanners, or even when we pick up audio, take that into account.
Well, just think, Earnhardt and Eury. I mean, you know, had Phil and McCoy.
Yeah, right. Oh.
That be cousins.
Third place, Martin Truex. Casey Kane has been coming, and he may become the new third place car here in a lap or two. They're about 4 seconds off the lead.
You know, I was talking about how well the 48 car looked yesterday in practice. He made a little bit of a move to the front, but Matt Yoakum, he has actually fallen back just a little bit.
Larry Mackey came on the radio about 15 laps ago, and Chad Canals told him to go ahead and dial some rear brake back into the car. The car is a little bit on the tight side, but the one thing that stands out about this team, they showcased it at Phoenix. As the track changes from daylight to darkness, this team excels like no other in staying ahead of the track changing. And that was the last thing that Chad told Jimmy before they took the green flag. This race, 4 segments, 100 laps each. The final 100 is the most important.
Goes Casey Kane driving by Martin Truex Jr. in that 1 car. This 9 car definitely is getting better as it goes into this long run.
See what happens to Martin here. Oh, the thing just gets real loose, and when they do that, you get off the gas, and it's got to correct itself. You don't have a whole lot to do with it.
But, you know, just to put a period on that 48 car, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car really doesn't have any adjustments that the driver can make from inside the cockpit, with the exception of adjusting front and rear brake bias. Sounds like the thing's not turning, so what Chad Canals is telling him, put a little more rear brake in it.
Denny Hamlin trying to lap past the 15 of Paul Menard, the 31st place car.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
64 laps complete, no change in the top 7. Tony Stewart has moved into 8th as caution waves for the first time tonight for Johnny Sauter.
Right front tire.
Pretty good, yeah. Right front flat. Down or what?
One thing that can cause tire problems here, you create so much brake heat, you can actually cook the bead of the tire. You can see right there in turn 4, tire went soft, couldn't even think about turning that car.
Yeah, well, the camber that they run, which is the tire leaned in at the top, you can wear the inside of a tire out, brake heat, number of things.
That's got to look like deja vu all over again. Was it 2 or 3 years here when Johnny Sauter took that same long ride from the apex at turn 3 and slammed the wall hard and knocked his car out of the race? That time with the new car, you have a much better chance of driving that back to the pits and fixing it up to race again. You got a NASCAR question anytime, anything you want to know pops into your mind, we've got the answer for you. Ask the Pros, built by the Home Depot on foxsports.com. And a growing list of experts are there 24/7 to answer your questions, and you'll hear the answer at foxsports.com/askthepros.
Well, she's going to be busy on pit road. We got 30 cars on the lead lap. Guarantee all 30 will be there for 4 tires and probably several adjustments.
Krista.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. says he's tight in the center, free in and free off. He ranked his free condition about a 3. Matt Yoakum.
Mark Martin's car was tight, but it started to go a little more to the loose side, so he backed off on this big change they were expecting, just a half a round to Steve.
Matt, Denny Hamlin told Mike Ford, really helped me off the corners. So they've dropped air pressure in the rear tires, and they're going to raise the track bar. Casey Kane, meanwhile, in the 9 car, also air out of the front tires.
31 cars on the lead lap. Brian Vickers will get the free pass and move back onto the lead lap as you look at the DirecTV race off pit road. Is anybody else going to lead this race tonight but Denny Hamlin?
The way he's going right now, it's going to be tough, but you can't give up positions on pit road, not in this race.